Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Yo, I did not expect this tonight. But here we are. They're out. Welcome, everybody. Let's get this going. We're going to just do a read through because there's a lot of good reads in here, I believe. We're going to do this in parts because we're going to want to know everything, I believe, that are in these documents. Let me know if my audio is good. And we're going to have members from J4J are going to be looking up people on the list as we go. Because what this dump is, and I know the website crashed, but guess what? We have all of them already saved in PDF form. So we don't have to worry about that. We have 5 groups all ready to go through. And that is going to probably get us through part 1, I would think. So let's pull this up here. So what these are these are from Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. Okay. So it's a bunch of depositions and documents. And what we're going to do is I'm looking at them for the first time with you. So we're just going to go through them together. Audio is good. Yay. Look at the bones in the house. Bonesy bones. All right. This is our first page. And this is one of the victims versus Maxwell. And that's what this comes from. This comes from a case, I think, from 2015 or something like that. So here we go. This is Exhibit 4. Hold on. I just might need some sound bites to get through this one. So let me open up my sound bites. Sorry, I wasn't ready. Welcome, guys. Come on in and get comfortable. I'm going to be doing a read through for you. Here we go. All right, let's make sure you guys have your sound bites and then we can get going.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
Diarrhea of the mouth. Thank you, Isa Brown. That's a really nice thing to say. We don't have our sub counter up, so let me move this blood drop because we really don't need any added ickiness to Mr. Epstein's already icky shiz. And just so you know, I am going to take breaks and I will read the super chats first. So we'll take a little break. Like I'll read some and then we'll take a break, talk about it, read some. Like I'm not going to just read a sentence and stop, even if it's shocking. I'm going to do my best. We're not planting flowers today. No, we aren't. Hello, Shell. And just so you guys know, Shell she works for going to Kodak. And her building. Well, she works near that building, I should say. She works near that Kodak building in Rochester. And I just want to say that I'm so glad that she's okay, because she works right near where that guy deliberately blew up his car into the Kodak thing, the Kodak arena or whatever it is. Hey, Damien. Fucking fuzzy slippers and lip gloss.
Psychopathy.
I want to be able to think about the planet before you reveal any celebrities. Half these people, I'm going to admit it. Welcome, Dixie Bishop. I'm going to admit it. I won't know half these people. So that's why we have already spoken in Discord before. And I said, please, look these people up while we're live. So welcome, Dixie. Yes, we are very glad that you are safe, Shell. That was way too close for comfort, All right, so let's get into our first
Exhibit E. EXHIBITY.
And this would be Exhibit E4. Now, this is an email. We're going to look at everything, guys. I just feel like we should. This is from GMax at, I don't know if that says climax.com.
Says that a joint?
I may need to zoom in just a touch. I think it says climax. Anyways, it's either ELIMAX.com. I don't know. But it's to Philip Barden and Ross Gow. I am out of my depth to understanding defamation and other legal hazards and don't want to end up with a lawsuit aimed at me from anyone if I can help it. Apparently, even saying Virginia is a liar has hazard. I have never been in a suit, criminal or civil, and want it to stay that way. The U.S. lawyers for Jane Doe's are filing additional discovery motions. And this is January 10th, 2015. And if I speak, I open myself to being part of discovery, apparently. I'm trying to stay out of litigation and do not have to employ lawyers for years as I get lost in a U.S. legal nightmare. I stand no legal risk currently on these old charges and civil suits against Jeffrey. We need to consult with U.S. lawyers on any statement I make and the complaints too. Perhaps we can make a statement of the legal risk of saying anything for potential defamation or something that prevents a full and frank, detailed rebuttal, and the press not being the place for that. Regardless, Philip, please call Jeffrey lawyer and see what you can understand from him and perhaps craft something in conjunction with him. Either way, I think you need to speak to him to understand my risk so you can help me understand it. Too many cooks in the kitchen, and I can't make good decisions. Please reach out to him today. Plus, I have already suffered such a terrible and painful loss over the past few days that I can't even see what life after press hell even looks like. Statements that don't address all just lead to more questions. What is my relationship to Clinton? Andrew? On and on. Let's rest till Monday. I need headspace. The Terramar Project, Facebook, Twitter, Google, Pinterest, Instagram pledge the Daily Catch. So I don't know what that is. Plaintiff's motion to compel defendant to answer deposition questions filed under seal. Plaintiff Virginia Gouffre, that's the victim, by and through her undersigned counsel, hereby files this motion to compel defendant to answer deposition questions. During her recent deposition, defendant refused. This is against Ghislaine. Defendant refused to answer numerous questions about allegedly adult sexual activity related to Jeffrey. Because this activity is highly relevant to this case, defendant should be ordered to answer questions about it. So, as this court is aware, the defamation case involves Miss Gouffre's assertions that she and other females were recruited by the defendant to be sexually abused by Jeffrey under the guise of quote unquote massage therapists. And then it says see complaint. Gouffre described Maxwell's role as one of the main women who Epstein used to procure underage girls for sexual activities and a primary co-conspirator and participant in his sexual abuse and trafficking scheme. In response to these assertions, defendant has made the sweeping claim that Miss Gouffre's assertions are entirely false and entirely untrue. Yet, during her deposition, she refused to answer questions. And she construed as having something to do with consensual adult sex. Defense counsel supported that position that, frankly, that's none of your business, and I instruct the witness not to answer. So, blah, blah, blah. She didn't answer her questions. So here is an example. Defendant refused to answer questions about whether she had given Jeffrey a massage. Question: have you ever given Jeffrey a massage? Mr. Palooka, object to the form foundation, and I'm going to instruct you not to answer that question. I don't have any problem with you asking questions about what the subject matter of this lawsuit is, which would be, as you've termed it, sexual trafficking of Miss Roberts. To the extent you're asking for information relating I'm going to instruct her not to answer. So he's just objecting. And then the next question is, did you ever participate from the time period of 1992 to 2009? Did you ever participate in a massage with Jeffrey and another female? And then he objects again. Objection. I need to get my objection button.
Objection.
And he says, don't answer that question. So he tells Ghislaine not to answer it again. And then, so I'm instructing her not to answer. So that's the example there. Another example, defendant refused to answer questions about her knowledge that Joanna Soberg was hired to work for Epstein and provided massages. In the police report, Johanna admitted that Maxwell recruited her to work for Jeff. Yet, during defendant's deposition, she refused to answer questions regarding Johanna Soberg. It's Sjoberg. Question: do you know what tasks Johanna was hired to perform? Answer: she was tasked to answer telephones. Did you ever ask her to rub Jeffrey's feet? I believe that I have read that, but I don't have any memory of it. Did you ever tell Johanna that she would get extra money if she provided Jeffrey massages? I was always happy to give a career advice to people, and I think that becoming somebody in the healthcare profession, either exercise instructor or nutritionist or professional massage therapist, is an excellent job opportunity. Hourly wages are around $7, $8, $9. And as a professional healthcare provider, you can earn somewhere between, as we have established, $100 to $200 and be able to travel and have a job that pays. That is a wonderful job opportunity. So in the context of advising people for opportunities for work, it is possible that I would have said that she should explore that as an option. Did you tell her she would get extra money if she massaged Jeffrey? I'm just saying, I cannot recall the exact conversation. I give career advice, and I have done that. Did you ever have Johanna massage you? I did. How many times? I don't recall how many times. Was there sex involved? No. Did you ever have sexual contact with Johanna?
Objection.
Did you ever have sexual contact with Johanna? Again, she is an adult. I'm asking you, did you ever have sexual contact with Johanna? I've just been instructed not to answer. On what basis? You'll have to ask my lawyer. Here again, this information is critical to the case. Among other things, these questions are designed to show an MO for Jeffrey and Maxwell, specifically how they recruited for a non-sexual massage and then converted the massage into sexual activities. One last illustration comes from defendant's refusal to answer about her knowledge of Jeffrey's sexual interests during massages. Oh my God, this is going to be awful, dude. This is totally going to get demonetized. I'm just going to preface this. If you can support the stream, please do. Because what I'm about to read, I'm telling you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This shit, if it even stays on YouTube, it's going to be demonetized. Question. Does Jeffrey like to have his nipples pinched during sexual encounters?
Objection!
I'm not referring to any advice on my counsel. I am not talking about any adult sexual things when I was with him. When Jeffrey would have a massage, would he request that the masseuse pinch his nipples while he was having a massage? I'm not talking about anything with consensual adult situation. While Epstein himself might also provide answers to these questions, it appears likely that he will assert his Fifth Amendment regarding his sexual activities. Here again, information about Jeffrey's sexual idiosyncrasies will provide important collaboration with Ms. Gouffre's testimony that she had sexual interactions as an identical nature with Epstein. Thank you, Flobo. Okay, so let's see. This is just about her not answering questions. And they want the court to compel her to have to do so. All right. Here's the next one. Videotape depo of Ghislaine. This is the same thing we just read. This is her. It's just the transcript. Exhibit 6. Okay, I think this is another depo. Oh, God, this is sick. All right. Ghislaine. Yeah. All right, so here we go. I'm asking if they performed sexual acts.
Objection!
Did the massage therapists who were at the home perform sexual acts for Jeffrey? I don't know what you mean by sexual acts. Did any of the massage therapists who were working at the home perform sexual acts, such as touching the breasts, touching the vaginal area, being touched while Jeffrey is masturbating, having intercourse, any of those things? Thank you, Melissa.
Objection!
To the extent any of this is asking for your knowledge, any consensual sex act that may or may not have involved you, I'm instructing you not to answer the question. I'm not asking about consensual sex. Maxwell. I have never seen anybody have sexual intercourse with Jeffrey ever. I'm not asking about sexual intercourse. I'm asking about any sexual act. Touching the breast. Did you ever see? Can you read back the question? I'm not addressing any questions about consensual adult sex. If you want to talk to me about what the subject matter, what is defamation and lying, Virginia Roberts, that you and Virginia Roberts are participating in perpetuating her lies, I'm happy to address those. I never saw any inappropriate underage activities with Jeffrey ever. I'm not asking about underage. I'm asking about whether any of the masseuses who are at the home perform sexual acts for Jeffrey. I have just answered the question. No, you haven't. I have. No, you haven't. Yes, I have. You're refusing to answer the question. Let's move on. I'm in charge of the deposition. I say when we move on and when we don't. You are here to respond to my questions. If you are refusing to answer, the court will bring you back for another depo. Do you understand that? You don't need to threaten the witness. I'm not threatening her. I'm making sure the record's clear. All right. Miss Maxwell, are you aware of any sexual acts with masseuses and Jeffrey Epstein that were non-consensual? No. How do you know that? All the time I've been in the house, I have never seen, heard, nor witnessed, nor have reported to me any activities that took place that people were in distress, either reported to me by the staff or anyone else. I base my answer on that. Are you familiar with a person by the name of Annie Farmer? I am. Has Annie Farmer given a statement to police about you performing sexual acts on her? I have not heard that. Has Annie Farmer ever given a statement to police about Jeffrey doing the same? And then it's cut off. Did you have sex with her? And then they object again. Was Emmy under the age of 18 when you hired her? No, I didn't hire her. As I said, Jeffrey did. Did Emmy ever have sex with Jeffrey?
Objection.
How would I know what somebody else did? You weren't involved in the sex between Jeffrey, Emmy, and yourself? Were you involved with sex between Jeffrey, Emmy, and yourself? Everyone is talking all over each other. You heard the question. So she doesn't answer. Moving on. Are you refusing to answer that question? I've been instructed by my lawyer. Did you ever have sex with Jeffrey, Emmy, Virginia, and yourself when Virginia was underage? Absolutely not. Her lawyer. We've been going for about an hour. I would like to have a 5-minute break. I'm almost done. You are not going to allow a break? As soon as I get through my line of questioning, which is perfectly appropriate. Did Emmy Taylor travel with you and Jeffrey to Europe? I'm sure she did. What is she doing today? I have no idea. Did you train Virginia on how to recruit other girls to perform sexual massages?
Objection.
No, and it's absurd that her entire story is one giant tissue of lies. And furthermore, she herself has. If she said that, you have to ask her about what she did. Does Jeffrey like to have his nipples pinched during sexual encounters?
Objection.
I'm not referring to any advice on my counsel. I'm not talking about any adult sexual things when I was with him. When Jeffrey would have a massage, would he request that the masseuse pinch his nipples while he was having a massage? I'm not talking about that. What about with underage? I'm not aware of anything. You are not aware of Jeffrey and your responsibilities in working for Jeffrey. Would you book massages for him on any given days so that he would have a massage scheduled? Would you take a call, for example, and book a massage for him?
Objection.
Typically, that was not my responsibility. He would book the massage himself, or one of his other assistants would do that. From time to time, you had to do that?
Objection.
Like I said, typically it was someone else's responsibility. If you were unable to book a girl for a massage on a given day, would that mean that you were responsible for giving him a sexual massage? Objection again. So you are not going to answer that question? You just heard my counsel. Have you ever said to anybody that recruiting other girls to perform sexual massages for Jeffrey takes the pressure off you? Objection again. Repeat the question and break it out. Repeat the question and break it out. Have you ever said to anybody that you recruit girls? Stop right there. I never recruited girls. Let's stop there. Now break down the question. Have you ever said to anybody, by girls, are we talking about underage people? You said girls. Are you talking about underage? We are not talking about consensual acts. This is a defamation suit. I can't recollect having a meal with them, but just so we're clear, the allegations that Clinton had a meal on Jeffrey's Island is 100% false. But he may have had a meal on Jeffrey's plane. I'm sure he had a meal on Jeffrey's plane. Do you know how many times he flew on Jeffrey's plane? I don't. Do you know who Doug Band is? I do. How do you know him? He used to work, or still works for Bill Clinton.
Awesome.
Did you ever have a relationship with him? We are talking about adult consensual relationships. It's off the record. I'm not asking you what you did with them. I'm asking if you ever had a relationship. Define relationship. Somebody that you would have spent time with, either seeing them in a romantic relationship or you need to be, what do you mean by romantic? I was friends with Doug, but you are suggesting something more, so I want to be clear of what you are actually asking me. You defined it. You said you are friends with him. If that's what you were, that's all we need to know. While you were on the trip with President Clinton, here's good old Billy. Thank you for the super chats. Doug Band, I don't know who he is. Sending love, make it triggered. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, women. Demonetize those nips. Yes. Well, it's Ghislaine, right? Ghislaine. She's British. And she's snooty and she's really quite bitchy. Alrighty. I'm not looking at chat anymore. While you were on the trip with President Clinton, do you recall where you stayed at these locations? In other words, would you leave the jet and stay overnight at a hotel? Do you have a recollection of this trip? I recollect the trip, but if you're asking me where we stayed, you can see it's a very fast-paced trip. It was very tiring. Foreman Foundation. I don't know why the name is. I'm sorry. I can't. I have no idea. Recognize the name, but that's it. Hold on. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that. So sorry. Okay. I don't know why the name is. I'm sorry. I can't. I have no idea. I recognize the name, but that's it. Was Johanna Soberg a masseuse? Objection. What are you asking me? I'm sorry. When Johanna Soberg worked for Jeffrey, did she perform massages? I've testified that when Johanna came originally, she came to answer telephones. I believe at some point she became a masseuse. I don't recollect, and I personally had massages from Johanna. What did Johanna do for Jeffrey? Did she perform massages? Anything else? Objection again. When she came and answered phones, and at some point I don't have any firm recollection, but I believe she went to school and became a masseuse, and I had massages from her. Did you have any sexual interaction with her? Object. She doesn't answer that. Did you have any sexual contact with her in the presence of Jeffrey? Same instruction. She doesn't answer. Did you have any sexual contact with her in the presence of anybody other than Jeffrey? Same instruction. She doesn't answer. How many massages did you receive from Johanna? I really don't recall, but a fair amount. Did the massages involve sex? She doesn't answer. Have you ever engaged in sex with any female? She doesn't answer. Were you responsible for introducing Anushka to Jeffrey? Objection. I already testified that I don't really recall Anushka. Were you responsible for introducing Johanna to Jeffrey? Objection. Again, I don't like the characterization of introduction. Johanna came to answer telephones. Were you the person who brought or introduced or met Johanna for purposes of bringing her to Jeffrey's home? Okay, now this is Composite Exhibit A. This is more Depo. Let's see. Questions about people under the age of 18 at Jeffrey's home. I'm trying not to say the last name. Okay. Question you can answer. I have not any idea exactly the youngest adult employee that I hired for Jeffrey. When you say adult employee, did you ever hire someone that was under the age of 18? Never. Did you ever bring someone who was invite someone under the age of 18 to Jeffrey's home, any of his home? Objection again. Can you repeat the question? Did you ever invite anyone who was under the age of 18 to Jeffrey's homes? Big, huge.
Objection.
I have a number of friends that have children and friends of mine that have kids, and in the invitation of my friends and their kids, I'm sure I have invited some of my friends' kids to come. Anybody who is not a friend of yours. Questions about meeting the plaintiff and massages with the plaintiff. I'm not asking how this is about Miss Roberts. I'm not asking how she held herself out. I'm asking how she arrived at the home. Did you meet her and invite her to come to the home, or how did she arrive there? Miss Roberts held her to be a masseuse, and her mother drove her to the house. When did you first meet Virginia Roberts? I don't have a recollection of the first meeting. Do you recall meeting her at Mar-a-Lago? Oh, shit. Mar-a-Lago. Like I said, I don't have a recollection of meeting Miss Roberts. So you recall Miss Roberts being brought to her home by her mother. To the home by her mother. Is that your testimony? That is my testimony. Awesome. And that is the first time you met her. Like I said, I don't recall meeting her the first time. I do remember her mother bringing her to the house. Are you a member at Mar-a-Lago? No. Have you visited Mar-a-Lago? Yes. Did you visit Mar-a-Lago in the year 2000? I'm pretty sure I did. When Miss Roberts arrived at the home with her mother, what happened? I spoke to her mother outside of the house, and I don't recall exactly what happened because I was talking to her mother she was in the house. Did you introduce Miss Roberts to Jeffrey Epstein? I don't recall how she actually met Mr. Epstein. As I said, I spoke to her mother the entire time outside the house. Did you walk Miss Roberts up to the upstairs location at the Palm Beach house to absolutely everything that took place in that first meeting? She has lied repeatedly. Often it's just an awful fantasy. So what? So did you give a massage with Virginia Roberts and Mr. Jeffrey during the first time Virginia Roberts was at the West Palm Beach house? Objection. Yes or no? No. Have you ever given a massage to Virginia Roberts in the room and Jeffrey? Objection. No. Have you ever given Jeffrey a massage? Objection. Questions about massages with minors. Have you ever given a massage to Mr. Epstein with a female that was under the age of 18? Can you repeat the question? Yes. Have you ever given a massage to Mr. Jeffrey with a female that was under the age of 18? No. Have you ever observed Mr. Jeffrey having a massage given by an individual, a female who is under 18? No. Have you ever observed females under the age of 18 in the presence of Jeffrey at his home? Objection. Again, I have the friends who have children. Questions about hiring massage therapists. Were you in charge of hiring individuals to provide massages for Jeffrey? My job included hiring people. There were 6 homes, and as I sit here, I hired assistants, I hired architects, I hired decorators, I hired cooks, I hired cleaners and gardeners, I hired pool people and pilots. I hired all sorts of people. In the course of a very small part of my time, my job was from time to time to find adult professional massage therapists for Jeffrey. When you say adult professional massage therapist, Where did you find these massage therapists? From time to time, I would visit professional spas. I would receive a massage, and if the massage was good, I would ask that man or woman if they did home visits. Questions about blank. Here we've got a redaction. And Nadia Marcinkova. Thank you, Trace. Questions about blank and Nadia Marcinkova. I don't know who that is. I just want to differentiate it. I'm doing the accents instead of saying Ghislaine, the lawyer. Ghislaine, the lawyer. So you can at least differentiate who's talking. So I don't know who Nadia is, but all right, here we go. Miss Maxwell, when did you first meet blank? Objection. So this is I have no idea when I met her. So this is a female that's redacted. Is this a victim? Do you think this is a victim? Do you know how old yeah, I think it is. Do you know how old she was when you met her? I have no idea how old she was when I met her. Is it possible she was 13 when you met her?
Objection.
Bunch of redactions. May have been in the house when Jeffrey was in the house. I have no idea how old she was. I understand she was with blank. I'm asking if blank was 13 years old when you met her. I have no idea. Excuse me. Was she under 18 when you first met her? I have no idea how old she was when I first met her. Did she look like a child when you first met her? I don't remember what she looked like at the first time she was in the house. Or at the time she was in the house. How many years have you known her? I can only recall the last time I saw her. When was the first time you met her? Again, I just told you I don't recall. Did you ever have sex with, or wait, did blank travel with you on Jeffrey's planes? I wouldn't remember if blank was on the plane or not. Did you ever have sex with blank? No. Did you ever observe Jeffrey having sex with blank? No. Were you aware that Jeffrey was having sexual contact with blank when she was 13 years old? Objection. I would be very shocked and surprised if that were true. Were you in the house when blank was in the house in a private area with Jeffrey? Objection. Can you repeat the question? Were you ever in the Palm Beach house when Jeffrey was in the house with blank? Objection. I've already testified that I've met her and that she was there. I don't understand what your question is asking. So you have never seen blank, and then there's an objection again. Is that your testimony? I already said I don't recall the times I've seen her. I have no memory of that. Have you ever seen blank in the house with Jeffrey? Objection. I told you I don't recall seeing blank. This is awful. Were you ever involved in an orgy with blank? No, absolutely not. Can you tell me, do you know an individual by the name of Nadia Marcinkova? I do. How did you meet Nadia? At some point, she was a friend of Jeffrey's, and I recall meeting her at some point. Did Jeffrey arrange for a visa for Nadia? I don't know what Jeffrey did. I cannot testify what Jeffrey did. Was Nadia involved in sex with Jeffrey and other girls? Objection. Girls under the age of 18. I have no idea. Was Nadia involved with sex with Jeffrey and girls over the age of 18? Say objection. I have no idea. Did Nadia recruit other girls for sex with Jeffrey? Objection. I have no idea. Do you still talk to Nadia? No. Is she a pilot? I have no idea. Questions about Mr. Jeffrey and sex. I'm not asking about, oh wait, we already read this. This is about the consensual. We already read that part. Questions about Sarah Kellen, Glenn Dubin, the plaintiff Johanna Cyborg, Annie Farmer, and sex. This is when she's refusing to answer. We read that. We did read that part about Annie Farmer. Okay, here we go. We didn't see this one. Has Annie Farmer given a statement? Oh, wait, that's where it ends. Hold on one second. Okay, you can answer the question. I have no idea what Sarah Kellen did. You never observed Sarah Kellen with girls under the age of 18 at Jeffrey's home. Objection. The answer is no. I have no idea. Do you know Glenn Dubin? I do. What is your relationship with Glenn Dubin? Objection. What do you mean, what is my relationship? Do you notice that every time her lawyer objects, she answers anyhow? What do you mean, what is my relationship? Are you friendly with him? How do you know him? He's the husband of Eva Dubin. Is Eva Dubin one of your friends? Yes. Did you ever send Virginia to Glenn's condo at the Breakers? Did you ever send Virginia to Glenn's condo at the Breakers to give him a massage? Objection. No. Did you ever instruct Virginia Roberts to have sex with Glenn? Objection. I've never instructed Virginia to have sex with anybody ever. How old was Eva Anderson when she met Jeffrey? These are a lot of names we heard in the flight log the other day. How old was Eva Anderson when she met Jeffrey? Objection. I have no idea. Was she under the age of 18? Objection. I just testified I have no idea how old she was. You testified she was your friend. You don't know how old she was when she met Jeffrey? That happened sometime in the 70s. How would I know? Or 80s? I have no idea. Can you testify to what your friends did 30 years ago? You don't ask the questions here, Miss Maxwell. What about Johanna Cyborg? When did you first meet Johanna? I don't recall the exact date. Did you hire Johanna? I don't hire people. She came to work at the house to answer phones. Where did you meet her? I just testified. I don't recall. Was one of your job responsibilities to interview people that would then be hired by Jeffrey? That was one of my responsibilities. Do you recall interviewing Johanna? I don't recall the exact interview, no. Do you know what tasks Johanna was hired to perform? She was tasked to answer telephones. Did you ever ask her to rub Jeffrey's feet? Objection. I believe that I have read that, but I don't have any memory of that. Did you ever tell Johanna that she would get extra money if she provided Jeffrey massages? I was always happy to give career advice to people. Oh, we did read this part earlier. This is where this is the same. She asked if Johanna massaged her. We read about Emmy Taylor. Okay, here we go. Oh, because we got Prince Andrew. Okay, let's go back. So if Johanna were to testify that you did not consent to a sexual act that you participated in, I just told you I've never, ever, under any circumstances, with anybody at any time, in any place, in any form, had non-consensual relations with anybody. Did you introduce Johanna to Prince Andrew?
Objection.
I've, again, read that Johanna claimed that she met or she said she met Prince Andrew. I don't know if that was the one who made the introduction or not. Do you know a female by the name of Emmy Taylor? I do. How do you know her? Emmy was my assistant. So she worked for you? Yes. Did you hire her? Again, Jeffrey hired people.
Awesome.
Moving on. Questions about Emmy, Virginia, and Miss Maxwell regarding what? Sex. Okay. Did Emmy Taylor travel with you and Jeffrey to Europe? I'm sure she did. What is she doing today? I have no idea. We already read that. Questions about... All right, this is about to get real. Questions about outfits and sex toys. So you didn't provide her with that? As I just testified, I have no idea what you're talking about. I was trying to interpret whether you didn't understand what a schoolgirl outfit was, or you are saying that didn't happen. I clearly know what a schoolgirl outfit is. I have no recollection of providing anybody with a schoolgirl outfit. Did you have a set of outfits used by the massage therapist? That would include things like a schoolgirl outfit or a black patent leather outfit or anything of that nature. Objection. That would just be another one of Virginia's lies. You didn't have anything like that? I did not. Did you have a basket of sex toys that you kept in the Palm Beach house? Objection. First of all, what do you mean? A laundry basket that contains sex toys in it. Objection. Can you ask the question again? Did you have a laundry basket that contained sex toys in it in the Palm Beach house? Objection. Did you have a laundry basket of sex toys in the Palm Beach house? Same objection. You can answer. I don't recollect anything about a laundry basket of sex toys. Do you recollect having sex toys at the Palm Beach house? You have to define what you're talking about. Questions about plaintiff and Epstein and sex. Do you recall having a basket full of sex toys? I already told you I did not. We were talking a moment ago about Miss Roberts and her position as a masseuse. Do you know what she was paid for working as a masseuse for Jeffrey? I do not. Did you ever pay her? I don't recall paying her. Do you know what happened during the massage appointments with Jeffrey and Virginia? Objection. No. Were you ever present to view a massage between Jeffrey and Virginia? I don't recollect ever seeing Virginia and Jeffrey in a massage situation. Do you ever recollect seeing them in a sexual situation? I never saw them in a sexual situation. Did you ever participate in sex with Virginia and Jeffrey? I never ever, at any single time, at any point ever, at all participated in anything with Virginia and Jeffrey. And for the record, she is an absolute total liar. And you all know she lied on multiple things. And that is just one other disgusting thing she added. Did you help her obtain an apartment in Palm Beach to live in? Objection. She doesn't answer that one. Was that your part of your responsibilities for Jeffrey? First of all, I didn't know she had an apartment in Palm Beach. I only learned that from the many times you have gone to the press to sell stories, so no. Did you help her get a cell phone? Was that one of your responsibilities for Jeff? To get her a cell phone as part of her masseuse obligations? Questions about training plaintiff to recruit girls for massages. How many homes does Jeffrey have? Objection. When I was working for him, I think he had 6, maybe. Would Virginia stay with him in those homes? Objection. I can only testify for when I was present with him. I cannot say when she did. What she did when I wasn't present with him. When you were present, would Virginia stay in the homes? I don't recall her staying in the homes. Did you train Virginia on how to recruit other girls for massages? No. Did you train Virginia on how to recruit other girls to perform sexual massages? No. And it's absurd, and her entire story is one giant tissue of lies. And furthermore, she herself has, if she says that, you have to ask her about what she did. Now we're back to the nipples. Questions about Ms. Maxwell's relationship with Mr. Jeffrey. You said you were in the home for a very limited time. So average in the year, for example, 2004, how many times would you have been in his Palm Beach home? Very hard for me to state, but very little. How about his New York home? Same. Were you his girlfriend in that year, 2004? Oh, no, sorry. Were you his girlfriend in that year in 2004? Define what you mean by girlfriend. Were you in a relationship with him where you would consider yourself his girlfriend? No. Did you ever consider yourself his girlfriend? That's a tricky question. There were times when I would have liked to think of myself as his girlfriend. When would that have been? Probably in the early 90s. Questions about recruiting girls, an underage girl in London, and foreign girls. Here we go. I know. It's a huge tissue of lies. Hello, all that are in chat. We've got 2,000 of you here. Have you all hit the like button yet? And subscribing. All right, here we go. Calling London. It starts out with an answer. So, first of all, I resent and despise the word recruit. Would you like to define what you mean by recruit? And by girls, you mean underage people? I never had anything with underage people. So why don't you re-ask the question in a way that I'm able to answer it? I'm asking you if you've ever said that to anybody. So if you don't understand the word recruit and you never use that word, then the answer to that question would be no. I have no memory as I sit here today of using that word. Did you ever meet an underage girl in London to introduce her to Jeff to provide him with a massage? Objection. Run that past me one more time. Did you ever meet an underage girl in London to introduce her to Jeffrey to perform a massage? Are you asking me if I met anybody that was underage in London specifically to provide a massage to Jeffrey? Is that your question? Yes. No. Do you know who Alexander Dixon is? I don't recall her right now. Do you know if, strike that, during the time that you were working for Jeffrey, did you ever observe any foreign females? So in other words, not from the United States, that were brought to Jeffrey's home to perform massages. Objection. Females. What age are we talking?
You're awesome.
Any age. Can you repeat the question? During the time you were working for Jeff, did you observe any foreign females of any age at Jeff's house to perform a massage? Are you asking me if any foreigner, not an American person, gave Jeffrey a massage? Yes. Well, as I sit here today, I can't think of anyone who's foreign. Certainly, I can't think of anybody right this second. How about any foreign girls who were under the age of 18? I already testified to not knowing anything about underage girls. Were there foreign girls who were brought to Jeffrey's home by Jean-Luc Brunel? I don't know if I'm saying that right. For the purpose of providing massages. I'm not aware of Jean-Luc bringing girls. I have no idea what you're talking about. You have never been around foreign girls under the age of 18 at Jeffrey's homes? I already testified about not knowing about underage girls. Did you provide any assistance with obtaining visas for foreign girls under the age of 18? I've not participated in helping with visas. Did Jeffrey? Was it Jeffrey's preference to start a massage with sex? I think you should ask that question of Jeffrey. Do you know? I don't believe that was his preference. I think you have to understand a massage. Perhaps you are not really familiar with what a massage is. I am. I don't need a lecture on a massage. I think you do. Questions about underage girls, sex with Jean-Luc Brunel, and outfits. Were you present on the island when Prince Andrew visited? Yes. Prince Andrew in the house. Hold on.
It's not white-sided.
It's
No,
very
not.
white-sided.
Oh. Did
Given
you?
the fallout.
All right, Prince Andrew. Were you present on the island when Prince Andrew visited? Yes. How many times? I can only remember once. Were there any girls under the age of 18 on the island during that one visit that you remember that were not family or friends of your daughters or your friends? There were no girls on the island at all. No girls, no women other than the staff at the house. Girls meaning I assume you are asking underage, but there was nobody female outside of the cooks and cleaners. Yeah, right. Did you, as part of your duties in working for Jeffrey, ever arrange for Virginia to have sex with Jean-Luc Brunel? Just for the record, I have never at any time, at any place, in any moment, ever asked Virginia Roberts or whatever she is called now to have sex with anybody. Did you ever provide Virginia Roberts with an outfit? An outfit of sexual nature to wear for Les Wexner? Are you guys writing these names down as they pop up? Did you ever provide Virginia Roberts with an outfit of a sexual nature to wear for Les Wexner? I think we addressed the outfit issue. I am asking you if you ever provided her with an outfit of a sexual nature to wear for Les Wexner. Categorically, no. You did get that. I said categorically. Don't worry, I'm paying attention. You seemed very distracted in that moment. Maxwell Exhibit 6, flight logs. Do you mind if I take a break? Or wait, here's Ghislaine. Do you mind if I take a break for the bathroom? It's 11:08 and we are going off the record now. Questions about pictures of naked girls. Was that on a desk that you would use in your work capacity when you're in the house? It was a desk. It was a room. I didn't really use that computer. Were there images of naked girls, whether they be under the age of 18 or over the age of 18 on that computer? I have no recollection of any naked people on that computer when I was there in 2003 we are talking. What about from 99 to 03? No, I can't recollect any naked pictures. Why were the computers removed from the house before the search warrant was executed? I have no knowledge of anything like that. The computers were removed from the house. Hi, Nils. Lex Wexner was the president of Victoria's Secret. Ew. Questions about topless females. I'm sorry, I don't know all these names. I'm just here to read. I mean, I've been to his in the mid-90s. I would have communicated with people who worked for him. Have you communicated with Leslie Wexner about this case? No. Have you ever seen a topless female at any one of Jeffrey's properties? Again, I testify that there were people from time to time in the privacy of a swimming pool that may have taken a bikini top off or something, but it's not common. And certainly when I was at the house, I don't recollect seeing any kind of activity like that. Have you ever smoked cigarettes? Yes. Have you ever smoked cigarettes with Virginia Roberts? I don't recall smoking cigarettes. So back to... I'm just skimming this. All right, here's Prince Andrew again. Defendant was on Jeffrey's plane over 300 times, including 23 times with Miss Giuffre when Miss Giuffre was underage. Yet, quite remarkably, defendant claims she couldn't recall even one of those flights. Defendant testified that she did not recall having Miss Gouffre at her London townhome with Prince Andrew. Defendant stuck to this incredible story despite flight logs establishing her traveling to London with Miss Gouffre and despite a photograph of the three, Miss Gouffre, Prince Andrew, and defendant, all standing together in defendant's home. Defendant's deposition consists almost entirely of I don't recalls or I refuse to answer that question, and also included a physical outburst that knocked the court reporter's computer off the conference room table. This lady's a bitch. Among the many questions that defendant refused to answer were a number of questions designed to show that defendant was aware that Jeffrey, a massage was a code word for sexual activity. A lot of talk about the Palm Beach house, huh? Sounds like there was a lot going on at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, he's in Trump's neighbors, guys. Come on now. He was neighbors with Biden on the island, right? And he's neighbors with Trump here in Florida. What are you going to do? I'm skimming.
You're awesome.
Listen to this. Defendant's sexual activities at Jeffrey's residences, including his private island, quote, Little St. Jeff's. That's disgusting. Or his aircraft during that time period. Mr. Alessi revealed that girls would come over to give massages, and he observed Miss Maxwell going upstairs in the direction of the bedroom quarters. He also testified that after the massages, he would clean up sex toys that were kept in Miss Maxwell's closet. Juan Alessi. He was a household employee. This is about underage girls present at the home in Palm Beach. Everybody was worried about the fucking airport codes. Were they on the island? Were they on the island? Dude, they were doing that shit right here in Palm Beach. Juan Alessi. He informed the Palm Beach police. He stated that towards the end of his employment, the masseuses were younger and younger. When asked how young, Mr. Alessi stated they appeared to be 16 or 17 at most.
You're awesome.
He added that he and his wife were concerned about what was going on at the house, and that he observed girls at the house, including one named Virginia. Mr. Rodriguez also testified that defendant also had naked pictures of girls performing sex acts on her computer. He stated, I know that Maxwell went out and took pictures in the pool because later I would see them on the desk or at the house. And nude 99.9% of the time. They were topless. They were European girls. Question, did they appear to be doing anything something sexual? Answer, yes, ma'am. And in these incidents, were these girls doing sexual things with other girls? Yes, ma'am. And I'm still talking about the pictures on Miss Maxwell's computer. Yes, ma'am. Upon leaving his employment, Rodriguez testified that the defendant threatened him that he should not tell anyone about what happened at the house. He said, she said, I forbid you that you're going to be, that I will be sorry if I contact any of our friends again. She said something like, don't open your mouth or something like that. I'm a civil humble. I came as an immigrant to service people. And right now you feel a little, I'm 55 and I'm afraid. First of all, I don't have a job, but I'm glad this is on tape because I don't want nothing to happen to me. This is the way they treat you. Better do this and you shut up and don't talk to nobody. When you say this is the way they treat, what specifically, who are you talking about when you say they? He says Maxwell. All right, that's the first group. We made it through the first group. Can you believe it? Let me open up group 2. And a huge shout out to the docket. All right, this is group 2. More depositions with names in them. We've got Jane Doe 2, Jane Doe 3, Jane Doe 4, and Jane Doe 5. This just says all their lawyers' names. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. The next page is a message in the upper left is dated January 13th, 2005 from CW, correct? Yes. Now they're questioning. I don't know who they're questioning. Maybe a victim? Oh, no, this is someone who worked for Jeffrey. This is someone who worked for Jeffrey. Okay, here we go. What about the next page? There is a message that Eva called. Yes. Dated January 21st, 2005. Yes. Do you know who Eva is? Yes. Who is Eva? The assistant controller from the New York office. Do you remember her last name? Polish name, I guess. She was Russian. She is Russian, actually. Did you ever travel to any other residences that Mr. Epstein had? No. Are you aware that he had a residence in the Virgin Islands? Yes. And would he sometimes travel to that residence from Palm Beach? Yes. Okay, do you recall on any occasion who would travel with him to the Virgin Islands? No, sir. I think we were talking about the money before, the household accounts. Sometimes you gave gifts. Is this Ghislaine? I'm confused. Yes, I was told to buy some gifts. For whom? For the guests. Okay, what kind of gifts? Shoes, sweaters, clothes. So were you instructed to buy something in particular at a particular store? They would go to the store if they liked something. I would go after and pay them and retrieve it. Okay, so would this be a girl who was staying at the house? Yes. Okay, this was one of the girls who traveled with Mr. Epstein to Palm Beach, correct? Yes. And so Mr. Epstein would instruct you to go shopping with this girl. Yes. And instructed you to pay for whatever it is she wanted to buy. Yes. Was there a price limit of or anything of that nature? No. So when the girl decided that she wanted, I would write them a check. In that instance, you would pay by check. Yes. Any other instances where you gave gifts to girls at the instruction of Mr. Epstein? No, I was just told, when they told me I will buy the item. I'm sorry? When I was told to purchase this item for them, I will do that, but not on any other occasions. What do you mean not in any locations? Any other occasions, not any other occasions. Okay. Did you ever buy flowers for a girl? This is sick. Did you ever buy flowers for a girl? Yes, sir. Tell me about that. I was told to buy flowers and roses for a girl performing in high school. Which girl was that? I don't remember the name, sir. What was Mr. Epstein's relationship to this girl? I think she was an acquaintance friend. She was a friend? Yes, sir. Now, was she performing at the high school? At the high school? In what capacity? Just realized I don't need these. There was like a play in the graduation for high school. A play for graduation? Yes. In the high school theater, there was some kind of performance. Was it like a theater production? Yeah, something like that. I didn't go inside, so I didn't know what was going on inside. Why do you say it was for graduation? Because everybody was the graduation outside. There were parents. There were a lot of people at school. Towards the end of the year, I think I overheard there was a graduation performance. You didn't go in? No, but this was a high school student you were bringing the flowers to. Is that correct? Yes. Had you seen this girl before at the El Brillo Way property? Right. Yes, sir. You had seen her a number of times? Yes, sir. Do you recall her name? I don't recall her name, sir. Now, you said you never went inside the theater. No, sir. Okay, how did you get to the flower store? I called the girl to her cell, and she will come to the back door, and I will give her the flowers. Was anyone else around at the time? No, sir. And you mentioned this was a girl you had seen before? Yes. Was this the girl who had come to give massages? I don't know. She was doing massages, but she was at the house. What would she have come there for then? To visit him. There was a high school girl who was coming to visit Mr. Epstein at the house. She came to the house. I opened the door and I left, Did you take her to the kitchen like you did? Yes. So you brought her to the kitchen just like you did for the girls who gave him massages, correct? Yes, sir. Did you ever pay her? I don't remember, sir, but I probably did. Why do you say you probably did? Because I was the only one paying. Well, not the only one, but, chances are I paid her, but I don't remember that particular instance that I gave her money. Is it fair to say that girls who came to the Palm Beach residence, those are not the girls who are staying there? The girls who came were there to give massages, correct? Yes. It's my understanding that C&T either came to his house alone to visit with Mr. Epstein or brought other girls in their age group to Mr. Epstein. Were you familiar with that type of recruitment process of girls bringing other girls? Yes. Can you tell me more about what you know about girls bringing other girls that are relatively the same age to come to Jeffrey's house and to use your words? Have a good time. It's hard to know who they knew, but I think they feel better themselves when they're in a group than going by themselves. But I don't know about someone recruiting. Okay. And you've talked about you to the police. At least refer to yourself, I believe, to the police and as well today as a human ATM, right? Something like that. I was supposed to carry cash at all times. One of the primary reasons you carried cash was to pay the girls in this age group of C and T for whatever happened at the house, right? Yes. Okay, and when C, let's use her for example, would bring someone else to the house, did you pay C as well as whomever she brought to the house or pay them both? No, I only pay one person. Okay, my understanding, and tell me if this is wrong or you can corroborate this, is that Mr. Epstein would pay the girl that was actually performing whatever was happening in the room. For now, we'll call it a massage. As well as anybody who brought that person over to the house that they would get paid cash. Are you familiar with that? No. If C brought another girl to the house and C stayed downstairs, but this other girl went upstairs with Mr. E, which one would you pay? I don't know because I was told who to pay. And Sarah Kellen always told you? Sarah told me pay so-and-so. So if we were going to ask anybody else about the exact method, who would we ask? Sarah. Sarah Kellen? Yes. She would know this? Yes. What about Ghislaine Maxwell? You're talking about the boss. I don't know. He calls her the boss. To your knowledge, was Ghislaine Maxwell aware of these girls that are in the age group of C and T coming to Jeffrey's house to have a good time? I have to say something. Mrs. Maxwell called me and told me to not ever discuss or contact her again in a threatening way. When was this? Right after I left, because I call one of the friends for a job and she told me this, but I feel intimidated and so I just want to keep her out. What exactly did she say? And then that was when he said about the threat. So 3-4 months after he left, he got a call from her out of the blue because he contacted somebody in New York to get a job. He contacted Jean-Luc and he contacted Eva, the Swedish girl. She used to be very good friends with Jeffrey because she asked me, she needs somebody in New York. What does Eva do? Eva was a model many years ago and he married. Eva is the mother of the girl who was on the wall. What the hell? Eva is the mother of the girl who was on the wall. Who is on the wall of Mr. Epstein's house? Yeah. All right. There is a younger girl model that's on the wall of Mr. Epstein's house. And this lady, Eva, is her mother? Yes. And at some point in time, you called her in New York to get a job. That's right. And you also called Jean-Luc Bernal. That's his name, right? Yeah, Jean-Luc. Yeah, I don't remember his last name. What did Eva or Jean-Luc say about employing you? No, they said they're going to find out. And obviously, the first thing they did was talk to Miss Maxwell. She made a telephone call to you. And what precisely did she say? So we read that where she told him not to open his mouth. This dude was really scared. Okay, here, straight up. He says, going back to where we started, did Ghislaine Maxwell have knowledge of the girls that would come over to Jeffrey's house that were roughly the same age group as C&T to have a good time, as you put it? He says yes. What was her involvement or knowledge about that? She knew what was going on. You referred to her at one point as Jeffrey's companion, but then later on you said she flew on a different airplane and oftentimes Or sometimes she slept in a different bed. Did that seem unusual? It was odd. But I mean, and again, everything is odd in Palm Beach. Okay, I don't mean to laugh. Mr. Epstein fly to Jet Aviation. She fly to Galaxy Aviation, but they never flew the same. Flew the same. All right, these are more depositions, I guess. This is Nadia Marcinkova and that Kellen, Sarah Kellen. This is awful. Do you know? Okay, so this is a question to Marcinova and Kellen. They didn't answer any of these questions. I'm just going to read the questions. Do you know Ghislaine? Is that somebody who helped Jeffrey devise a scheme to allow him access to a variety and various underage minor females? Is Sarah Kellen someone who was involved in the planning of this scheme? Isn't it true that yourself, Ghislaine, and Sarah had access to a master list of underage minor females' names and phone numbers so they could be called for the purpose of coming to Jeffrey's house to be sexually molested? Do you know Jane Doe 102? Are you aware of Jeffrey and Ghislaine's sexual interaction with Jane Doe 102 when she was a minor? They didn't answer any of this crap. This Jean-Luc Brunel, or whatever his name is. Who is he again? Oh, I gotta get something to drink. How about we take an intermission for about 2 minutes? How about that? Cash me outside. How about that? I gotta go get something to drink. We've been live for an hour and a half almost already. Do you guys want me to like scroll through these, or do you want me to read the meat and potatoes of it? Like, are you enjoying the meat and potatoes of it, or do you want me to scroll and roll more? Because I'm trying to scroll past just dumb stuff, but I'm trying to eye out names as well. Oh, the Victoria's Secret guy, that's him. Let's see what we've got. Let me find. Because all of this court stuff I'm not going to read. I'm just scamming. I'm just scanning for names. These people got me scamming on the brain. These people are nasty. This is the Jane Doe's coming forward. Look at this, guys. Epstein frequently sexually abused Jane Doe number 3, not only in West Palm Beach, but also in New York, New Mexico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, in international airspace on his private planes, and elsewhere. Hey, Miss Carrie.
So is that a joint?
Okay, we're gonna start here when we get back. Alan Dershowitz. Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz. Well, we're planning on doing this in parts. I mean, why do I have to read it all in one day? I don't need to know all these people's names in one day. We can actually take our time. Yeah, I'm going to do me. Y'all, you can go read these on your own. Like, they're out there. I'm more than willing to read this stuff to you, but I got to go get something to drink. So Alan Dershowitz is what we're going to be doing when we get back. So 3-minute break. That's going to be what we come back to. O.J. Simpson's lawyer. Nasty stuff, huh? But who is John Luke? I thought you guys said he was the Victoria's Secret guy. See, I don't know who these people are. All right. You guys want some music? I'm going to have to keep you awake.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh,
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid. Feel like my brain is overloaded, man, I'm losing it. Don't let them tell you what to do, man, they don't know shit.
All right. How's that for some perfect timing? All right. Thanks for letting me take that little break and get up and move around. I don't know why it was bothering me. I was uncomfortable. And I needed a drink. So here we go. Alan Dershowitz, a close friend of Jeffrey's and a well-known criminal defense attorney. Epstein required Jane Doe 3 to have sexual relationships with Dershowitz on numerous occasions when she was a minor. Not only in Florida, so, everybody who thought this all happened in the Virgin Islands, it happened in Florida, on private planes, in New York, New Mexico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. In addition, Dershowitz, was an eyewitness to the abuse of many minors by Epstein and several of his co-conspirators.
So is that a joint?
Thank you, Flo. Dershowitz would later play a significant role in negotiating the NPA on Epstein's behalf. Indeed, he helped... Maxwell also took numerous sexually explicit pictures of underage girls. Here we go. For instance, one powerful individual Epstein forced Jane Doe 3 to have relations with was a member of the British royal family, Prince Andrew, a.k.a. the Duke of York. Jane Doe 3 was forced to have sexual relations with this prince when she was a minor in 3 separate geographical locations in London, New York, and on Epstein's private island. In an orgy with other underage girls. This is Prince Andrew. Gross. Epstein instructed Jane Doe 3 that she was to give the prince whatever he demanded and required her to report back to him on the details of the abuse. Maxwell facilitated Prince Andrew's acts of sexual abuse by acting as a madam for Epstein, therefore assisting in internationally trafficking Jane Doe 3 and numerous other young girls for sexual purposes. Another person in Epstein's inner circle who becomes apparent with almost no investigative effort is Jean-Luc Brunel. Epstein sexually trafficked Jane Doe 3 to Jean-Luc Brunel many times. Brunel was another of Epstein's closest friends and a regular traveling companion who had many contacts with young girls throughout the world. Brunel has been a model scout for various modeling agencies for many years and was apparently able to get U.S. passports for young girls to work as models. He would bring young girls ranging to ages young as 12 to the United States for sexual purposes and farm them out to his friends, especially Epstein. Brunel would offer the girls modeling jobs. Many of the girls came from poor countries or impoverished backgrounds, and he lured them in with the promise of making good money. Epstein forced Jane Doe 3 to observe him, Brunel, and Maxwell engage in illegal sexual acts with dozens of underage girls. Epstein also forced Jane Doe to have sex with Brunel on numerous occasions at places including Epstein's mansion in West Palm Beach, Little James Island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, many including orgies that were comprised of other underage girls, New York City, New Mexico, Paris, the south of France, and California. Epstein also trafficked Jane Doe 3 to many other powerful men, including numerous prominent American politicians, powerful business executives, foreign presidents, a well-known prime minister, and other world leaders. Epstein required Jane Doe 3 to describe the events that she had with these men so he could potentially blackmail them. So he was like a J. Edgar Hoover. He not only set all this up, but he took all this information and kept it for blackmail purposes. Wow. The government was well aware of Jane Doe 3 when it was negotiating the NPA, as it listed her as a victim in the attachment to the NPA. Moreover, an investigation of Jane Doe 3's relationship with Epstein would have revealed the fact that she had been trafficked throughout the United States and internationally for sexual purposes. Nonetheless, the government secretly negotiated a non-prosecution agreement with Epstein, precluding any federal prosecution in the Southern District of Florida of Epstein and his co-conspirators. That's not good, guys. As with Jane Doe 1 and 2, the government concealed the non-prosecution agreement from Jane Doe 3, all in violation of her rights under the CVRA to avoid Jane Doe 3 from raising powerful objections to the NPA that would have shed tremendous public light on Epstein and other powerful individuals. Oh my God. As with other Jane Does, Jane Doe 4 was repeatedly abused by Epstein. In or around the summer of 2002, Jane Doe 4, an economically poor and vulnerable 16-year-old child, was told by another one of Epstein's underage minor sex abuse victims that she could make $300 cash by giving an old man a massage on Palm Beach. An acquaintance of Jane Doe 4 telephoned Epstein and scheduled Jane Doe 4 to go to Epstein's house to give him a massage. During that call, Epstein himself got on the phone with Jane Doe 4, asking her personally to come to his mansion. Jane Doe 4 then went to the mansion and was escorted upstairs to Epstein's large bathroom by one of his assistants. Shortly after, Jeffrey emerged and lay face down on the table and told him Jane Doe 2 to start massaging. Epstein asked Jane Doe 3 her age, and she told him she had recently turned 16. Epstein subsequently committed illegal sexual acts against Jane Doe 4 on many occasions. Epstein used a means of interstate communication, a cell phone, to arrange for these encounters. Okay, here's some names. Depositions. We have Ghislaine, 7 hours. Johanna was 3.5. Juan Alessi, 3.5. Maria Alessi, those are people that worked for them, husband and wife. David Rogers, Ronaldo Rizzo, Jean-Luc Brunel, Ross Gow, Dana Burns, Jojo Fontanella, Detective Joe Riccari, Michael Reeder, Emmy Taylor, Alexandra Hall, Nadia Marcinkova, Sarah Kellen Vickers, Jeffrey, Johanna Soberg on May 18th, 2016. Miss Soberg testified that while a 20-year-old college student with no massage training, Miss Maxwell, a stranger to her, approached her on college campus and told her she would hire Miss Soberg as her personal assistant. After Miss Soberg began to work for defendant inside the home, she shared with Jeffrey, defendant revealed that Miss Soberg's true job was to complete sex acts with Jeffrey Epstein. Defendant was explicit with her instructions, at one point scolding Miss Soberg for failing to finish her job. Defendant instead had to finish her job for her. Ew.
You're awesome.
So we literally have to scroll through these pages. Alfredo Rodriguez. I think he worked there too. Johanna confirmed that she knew Virginia was underage when she met her on the trip to New York with Jeffrey in 2001 because Virginia couldn't get into the casino. And then later, Johanna asked her, and Virginia said she was 17. And Johanna added, at the time, I had the impression that she did not have a family or she had walked away from her family. And it seemed to me, they just sort of adopted her, not as a child, but they would take care of her. Johanna testified Jeffrey had to have 3 massages a day from different girls. Johanna testified that Jeffrey told her that he had 3 massages a day because he needed to have 3 orgasms a day. It was biological, like eating. Johanna testified that Maxwell let me know that she would not be able to please him as much as he needed, and that was why there needed to be other girls around. Maxwell, said she doesn't have the time or the desire to please him as much as he needs, and that's why there were other girls around. Johanna confirmed she witnessed Virginia when she was 17 in Jeffrey Epstein's New York mansion with Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell. Johanna also testified that Prince Andrew sat with Virginia and Johanna and took a picture with a puppet in his image that had its hand. Wait, what? Johanna testified that Prince Andrew sat with Virginia and Johanna and took a picture with a puppet in his image that had its hand and Prince Andrew's hand on their respective breasts. Johanna testified that Maxwell bought a camera for her and asked her to take naked pictures of herself for Jeffrey. Maxwell called Johanna and the other girls her children when they were on a trip to the U.S. Virgin Islands. David Copperfield. David Copperfield was at a dinner. Hi, prepper. And there was another girl present who looked young, and Johanna asked what school she went to, and Johanna did not recognize the school as being a college and said it was possible that it was a high school age girl. Johanna said Copperfield, quote, questioned me if I was aware that girls were getting paid to find other girls. Johanna testified she heard Jeffrey call someone to find girls in Hawaii to send over the Frederick Fakai. Johanna testified Jeffrey told her Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. Johanna testified that she was naked for 20 to 25% of all massages. Johanna testified that Jeffrey made her perform sexual acts during massages, including toys, and she had intercourse with them. Johanna testified that if a massage involved sexual acts, that Jeffrey paid Johanna more than the normal $200. She testified that defendant called Emmy Taylor her slave. Later, she testified that Jeffrey, he told me one time Emmy was sleeping on the plane and they were getting ready to land. And he went and woke her up, and she thought that meant he wanted a sex act. So she started to unzip his pants, and he said, no, 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 you just have to wake up for landing. Limited edition. I don't care about the flight log versus this. These are court documents. A lot of this abuse happened in New York, New Jersey, Palm Beach, and the Virgin Islands. I got news for you. Johanna said she believes what Virginia is saying about being abused by Jeffrey and Maxwell. Basically, that I believed her even though she never spoke to me specifically about what was going on. Oh, she recalls that defendant went to dinner with Governor Bill Richardson one time when Johanna was visiting the ranch in New Mexico. There we go. New Mexico, too. This is Juan Alessi. We read some of his earlier. Maria, his wife. Dave Rogers. Rogers was one of the pilots for Epstein's private jet. Defendant refused to admit that her name is reflected in the flight logs despite her initials GM over 300 times. Ronaldo Rizzo. Rizzo, who is he? He had observations regarding defendant with underage girls. John Luke. Ross Gow. Mr. Gow is the defendant's press agent who issued the press statement at issue in this case on defendant's behalf. Mr. Gow is located in London. Dana Burns. Dana Burns is redacted. Jojo Fontanella. He was a butler in the New York mansion for a number of years. Detective Joe Riccari. He interviewed a lot of the females. Former Palm Beach Police Chief Michael Reeder. Emmy Taylor. She was the assistant to Ghislaine. And she also lives in London. And then number 14, completely redacted. Look at that. Completely gone. We have Nadia Marcinkova. Sarah Kellen. The Money Girl.
You're awesome.
David Copperfield, isn't he old? God. So he asked the girl, "Are you aware that they're doing this?" But he didn't do anything about it. Okay, email from Sigrid Macaulay and Laura Menninger. Exhibit 5. Okay, Laura Menninger is Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer. And Sigrid Macaulay represents Virginia, one of the victims. Okay, we're going to scroll through this deposition. Okay, so she's talking about being recruited on college campus by Ghislaine. And then she was told she was going to make $20 an hour. And then when she arrived at the home in Palm Beach, she says, "I remember him being in a bathrobe. I recall talking to him about how he was a major in psychology. And he had studied psychology, and he spoke with me about different topics. I remember thinking this guy is very smart. That was my first impression." So in the beginning, she picked up ink. She answered phones, took messages, bought magazines. She wanted to take her shopping, but Neiman Marcus was closed. So it seemed like a probably relatively normal thing. I'm waiting to see where. Oh, one day. They put her in that position for one day, and then the next day she called and asked if she wanted to come over and make $100 an hour rubbing feet. And she says, "What do you think of that offer?" "I thought it was fantastic." "And did you come over to the house for that purpose?" "Yes. When you came over to the house, was Maxwell present?" "I don't recall." And what happened? At that point, I met Emmy Taylor, and she took me to Jeffrey's bathroom. And her and I both massaged Jeffrey. She was showing me how to massage. And then he got off the table. She got off the table. She took off her clothes, got on the table. And then he was showing me moves that he liked. And then I took my clothes off, and they asked me to get on the table so I could feel it. And they both massaged me. So it was more than a foot massage. Yeah, it was mostly like legs and back. Was everybody in the room without clothes on? When they were on the massage table, yes. Did they, when they got off the massage table, did they dress? Yes, they dressed. Did you recall who paid you for that? I don't recall. Did Maxwell ever refer to Emmy by any particular term? She called her slave. You said your job duties changed. Did you start to travel as part of your job? Yes. The next time they called me, they asked me to go to New York. Easter of 2001. Ha! Here we go. Do you recall where you flew when you traveled for the first time with Jeffrey? We left from Palm Beach and landed in Atlantic City for a few hours because there was a storm in New York, and then got back on the plane a few hours later and landed in Teterboro. And you said you recall, you guys said Trump. Oh, Trump just went from Jersey to Palm Beach. And you said you recall landing in Atlantic City. Did you go into Atlantic City? Yes. We went to one of Trump's casinos. Oh, boy. So she got to New York. She walks in, and that's where she meets Prince Andrew for the first time. At one point, Ghislaine told me to come upstairs, and we went into a closet and pulled out the puppet, a caricature of Prince Andrew, and brought it down. And there was a little tag on the puppet that said Prince Andrew on it, and that's when I knew who he was. This puppet was just in this closet. And what did the puppet look like? It looked like him. She brought it down and presented it to him, and that was a great joke because apparently it was a production from a show on BBC, and they decided to take a picture with it, in which Virginia and Andrew sat on the couch. He put the puppet on Virginia's lap, and I sat on Andrew's lap. And they put the puppet's hand on Virginia's breast. And Andrew put his hand on my breast, and they took a photo. Okay, that's cool, limited edition. I'm strictly reading court documents, so I don't really need to know what you're talking about right now. The next thing I remember is being shown to the room I was going to be staying in. During this trip, did you have to perform any work? I performed one massage, I recall. Who instructed you to give that massage? Jeffrey. Can you describe for me what happened? Near the end, he asked me to rub his nipples while he masturbated. Ugh. She said, I'm done, and walked out. Well, we had a conversation a little later talking about his expectations, and that the conversation where he said that the next trip that we were going on to the island in the Virgin Islands, and I would be invited. However, there would be, quote, sex stuff happening. Can you describe for me what in New York, where you massaged and what it looked like? He had one room that was the massage room. It was about the size of a spa room in a spa. It had high ceilings. It had dark tapestry on the walls. It was a very dark room. There was a very large picture of a naked woman whom I don't recall. That's all I remember. In the Palm Beach home, did you recall seeing pictures? Did you see photos of naked females? Yes. Definitely saw them in his bathroom. Were you in any of these photos at one point? Yes. Where did you go next? After New York, I went to Virgin Islands. Virginia was there. Ghislaine was there. Jeffrey. And there were two other women. I don't recall their names. AP and PK are the two women I don't recall. Ew. Do you recall performing massages while you were in the U.S. Virgin Islands? Yes. Who was involved in? Was there more than one? Yes. I massaged Ghislaine at one point, and I massaged Jeffrey, Virginia, and I both on the beach. At the end, before I left and flew home, Ghislaine gave me $1,000. You mentioned that you massaged. You recall massaging Ghislaine. Ugh. She doesn't remember the two others. Ghislaine was nude in the ocean. Did Jeffrey ever tell you that he took a girl's virginity? He did not tell me. He told a friend of mine. What do you recall about that? He wanted to have a friend of mine come out who was a cardio kickboxer instructor. She was a physical trainer, and so I brought her over to the house, and he told my friend Rachel, he said, "You see that girl over there laying by the pool? She was 19, and he said, I just took her virginity." And my friend Rachel was mortified. David Copperfield. What happened at that dinner, if anything? He did some magic tricks. Did you observe David Copperfield to be a friend of Jeffrey's? Yes. Did Copperfield ever discuss Jeffrey's involvement with young girls with you? He questioned me if I was aware that girls were getting paid to find other girls. Did he tell you of any of the specifics of that? No. Did he say whether they were teenagers or anything along those lines? He did not. Did you ever hear or observe Jeffrey talking on the phone about Frederick Fakai? Yes. What did you hear? I heard him call someone and say, Fakai is in Hawaii. Can we find some girls for him? Who's Frederick Fakai? Pizzagate, another conspiracy that came true, right? Did Jeffrey ever take you shopping? Yes. He took me to Victoria's Secret. I believe he picked out everything, and we went into the room with me, the fitting room, which was very odd. He joked one time that he was in there with another girl, and she said something like dad, but that's all I recall. Have you ever been propositioned by anyone to have a baby for someone? Yes. And who propositioned you? Jeffrey. Did he ask more than once? Yes. And what did he say? Basically, I want you to be the mother of my baby. And you don't recall your response to that? I don't believe that I said flat out no. I just didn't agree to it. I would just say, oh, yeah, really? Okay. Did you ever bring other girls over as Maxwell requested? One time. Was Bill Clinton a friend of Jeffrey Epstein? Let me back up. Do you know if Bill Clinton was a friend of Jeffrey? I knew he had dealings with Bill Clinton. I did not know they were friends until I read the Vanity Fair article about them going to Africa together. Did Jeffrey ever talk to you about Bill Clinton? He said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to young girls. Or referring to girls. Do you recall ever taking a trip to Epstein's home in New Mexico? Yes. And do you recall who went on that trip with you? Sarah Kellen and Ghislaine. Weird. Okay, listen to this. Nadia Marcinkova. All right, so this is the second trip to the Virgin Islands. And she says, what do you recall? Any observations about blank when you met her? To speak with, she was a little rough around the edges, and I could see the progression of her being groomed a little. They got her braces. She had terrible posture, and with a lot of massages, she learned to stand up straight. So I just saw her become a more confident person. I assumed she was 18, but I do not know. Did you go hiking with Ghislaine? Yes. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through here. All right, can you tell me about your first meeting with Ghislaine? Sure, I was sitting on a bench, and then blank. She approached me. I was getting ready to go to a class. It was my junior year. And she and another woman approached me. She and another woman. The other woman didn't speak that I recall. And she asked me about, she had a house in Palm Beach and was looking for someone that she could hire to work at the house. Then she asked me if I knew anyone, and I didn't know who she was, and I didn't want to take the responsibility of finding someone to work for her, so I said I didn't. And then she said, well, maybe what about you? She said, come to my house, come in my car and check it out. So I did. Okay, so for those of you, this is like a college campus. It's in a city setting. I mean, Palm Beach is not a big city, so it's on the intercoastal. And there was a big grassy area surrounded by buildings. So she was inside of the campus. And she said she was looking for a bulletin board where she could post a job. Wow. Well, I instantly picked up on the fact that she was British. She had on like workout clothes. I believe she was wearing all black. I mean, she was a little snarky, but I felt comfortable enough to get in the car with her. And I remember thinking the weekend that we flew to the Virgin Islands, she flew the helicopter from wherever we were, to Little Saint Jeff, or whatever the name of the island was. And I just thought, wow, who is this woman? She gave me her phone number and took my phone number and took me back to school. So she was asked the first day that they still, played off that she was doing this regular job, right? So she shows up in like regular clothes, right? And she goes to run errands in Ghislaine's Mercedes convertible. She said there was nothing suspicious that first day. I'm just scrolling for anything important. I'm not going to read this all verbatim. I mean, there's 300 pages here. Because once we get through the initial questioning, then we get Emmy Taylor. He's asking her about her being a virgin and shit. Gross. Oh, man. All right, here we got more Prince Andrew in New York. So she goes back to New York and she sees there's Jeffrey, her, Virginia, and Prince Andrew. And they were just socializing. They were all clothed. This is the only time you met Prince Andrew in New York, though, right? She says yes. Okay, this is about the puppet again. I've heard about that. You went and sat on Andrew's lap? Yes. On his knee? Yes. And Virginia was not sitting on his knee? I don't recall. I just remember she might have been on the other knee like Santa. I don't remember. Do you remember anything else about Virginia from that trip other than the Prince Andrew thing and Phantom of the Opera? Well, we were getting ready to leave to go to the airport, and we were waiting. She and I sat on the steps in the foyer. I do remember just kind of asking a few questions to try to understand her role. Because at that point now, I knew what he wanted from me in the massage. But she did not make it clear to me that she was participating in that. So I was prodding gently to see if there was anything happening that shouldn't have been, because I was getting the impression that she was 17. You mentioned earlier she seemed orphan-like. Right. At the time, I was getting an impression that she did not have a family, or she walked away from her family. Did you ever observe her using drugs? She says no to all of it. She also said they weren't drinking either. Do you remember Ghislaine being part of the Virgin Islands the second time? Yes. That's when she called, went to bed, and kissed us all on the head and called us her children. Ugh, these questions are disgusting. All right, we're on page 165. I'm going to try something up here. We can type in Andrew and see everything that comes up with Prince Andrew. Did you ever see Al Gore on the island? No. Did you ever see his wife Tipper Gore on the island? No. Let's type Trump. Trump's casinos. Who else did you guys want to know about? Because I can look up names. Jeffrey said, great, we'll call up Trump and we'll go to, I don't recall the name of the casino, but we'll go to the casino. George Lucas? Did any of the guests for whom you gave a massage mention that they expected something sexual? No. Did they ask you to engage in contact and you refused? No. Marvin Minsky, George Lucas, Donald Trump. Did you ever massage Donald Trump? No. Sorry, I have to ask, but did you ever have sex with Alan Dershowitz in the back of a limousine with Virginia and Jeffrey? She says, absolutely not. Oh, Kimmel. He's not in this doc, but this is only group 2. I don't think there's any list, Faith. You have to go through it yourself. Ain't nobody at the court pulling names out to make it easy. Here we go. I believe you saw in that police report a reference to a friend of Jeffrey named Glenn and his wife. I remember they had an apartment on Breakers Row. I went up there and massaged. It may have been more than once, but I only remember one time, but there was nothing sexual. So they actually did normal massages? Nothing sexual happened with Glenn? No. Did Glenn ask you to give a massage on the floor? I don't remember. Did you meet Prince Andrew any other time besides the time you already described in your testimony? No. If you want to take a look at that paragraph before I ask you questions. Okay, in that paragraph, it describes that Andrew, Virginia sat on the chair, and then Andrew sat on another chair, and you sat on his lap. That's not a list of names. That's a list of exhibits. Okay, here we have Al Gore. No. Tipper Gore, she never saw. Thank you, Drea. Only Dershowitz came up when... Okay. This might not have any more juicy names in it. Did you speak with John Connolly? I don't know who John Connolly is. You guys know? Oh, this is about a book deal. I had other reporters calling me. I avoided almost all the calls. I had someone coming at me, stalking me. I do not know who he was. He offered me $25,000 to give a story, and I turned him down. Faith, fit, fun. I don't trust everything that other people put out. I have to see it for myself. Like, I would be a really irresponsible creator if I just went to some other creator or channel or social media and said, oh, here, I'm just going to take this list, but I don't know if these names are really in here. Like, I can't do that. Like, that would be really irresponsible. Oh, look. Clad is used. Semi-clad or naked? Talking about skinny dipping in Palm Beach. A lot of this shit happened in Palm Beach, guys. I hate to break it to you. Trump is mixed in this too. Hate to bust your bubbles. Palm Beach, they were neighbors. Y'all get way too defensive about some dude you don't know, that you'll never know, and that doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about you. None of them do. No, I didn't see anything like that. This is about the nude photographs. They gave her a 35 millimeter camera to take pictures of herself. These people should just be all drown. You said that there were possibly nude photos amongst the other photos that you saw in various walls at the Palm Beach house, correct? None of them stood out to you? No. None of them appeared pornographic? No. Do you know if Virginia Roberts is telling the truth about whether she spent her sweet 16 birthday with Jeffrey and Ghislaine? She says, I don't know anything about that. God, that's sick. Do you know whether Virginia Roberts is telling the truth about Ghislaine forcing her to participate in an orgy with Prince Andrew and other underage girls? She says, I have no knowledge. And that was Johanna. Look at all this redacted. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Look at it. It's all redacted. This ain't no fucking release. Supposedly it's supposed to get updated like the 20th or something. I'm not going to hold my breath. There you go. That's dump 2. Now I see why he's dead, because he was blackmailing these people. Here's group 3. So I don't know. We've been live for 2.5 hours. Let me check Kimmel for y'all in this one. Nope. No Kimmel. No Kimmel. No go. Let's see if Trump's going to be in this one. No Trump. Who else do we want to look for? Ellen. Nope. No Ellen DeGenerate. Sorry. Here we go. The only remaining witness is William Jefferson Clinton. Let's see how many times he appears in here. 21. Jeffrey E. J-E-E vacation at gmail.com. You can issue a reward to any of Virginia's friends, acquaintance, family who come forward and help her prove allegations are false. And help prove her allegation is false. The strongest is the Clinton dinner and the new version in the Virgin Islands that Stephen Hawking particated in an underage orgy. What the fuck? Ross Gow, acuityreputation.com. VR cried rape. Prior case dismissed as prosecutors found her not credible. Acuity reputation. We have to look this up. What was the website? It's not even a link anymore. Oh. It's a bad link. Wait. Nope. That shit is parked. Marshall Mathers is on it. I'm not really surprised either. I just want to see what this acuity reputation means. Ross Gow, acuity reputation. Well, we guide businesses through the ever-increasing range of threats and risks businesses like yours face. Oh, what the rich can pay for. We'll go another half an hour. Maybe. Okay, I'm going to read these names. Virginia Gouffre, Stan Pottinger. These are emails. Brad Edwards, discussion of I don't think this means shit. This is all court-related stuff. Yeah, this is all court stuff. Okay, here we go. Ghislaine Maxwell's privilege log. So I don't know if this is what people are talking about. Ross Gow, her lawyers. This is all court shit. See, and I knew we'd have to scroll through a lot of stuff too. The Dershowitz case. This is probably all going to be about that Dershowitz guy. Like, I literally feel like there's nothing in this thing. I don't know where you guys are seeing a list. So you worked on it on weekends at Mar-a-Lago? Bill Richardson. Did Ghislaine Maxwell... Wait, here we go. And I'm telling you that Ghislaine told me to go to Glenn Dubin and give him a massage, which means sex. So Ghislaine Maxwell told you to go give a massage to Glenn Dubin. Correct. Ghislaine Maxwell told you to give a massage to Prince Andrew. Correct. Correct. Ghislaine Maxwell told you to give a massage to Bill Richardson. Correct. When Ghislaine Maxwell used the words, go give a massage to Bill Richardson, where were you? I can't tell you where we were. I know where I was sent to. Where were you sent to? New Mexico. Ghislaine Maxwell sent you to many places to have sex with Jean-Luc. Yes, many places. When did Ghislaine Maxwell send you to have sex with the owner of a large hotel chain? Who is the large hotel chain? Okay, were you sent to have sex with the owner of a large hotel chain by Ghislaine? I believe that was one time in France. I believe it was around the same time that Naomi Campbell had a birthday party. Where did you have sex with the owner of a large hotel chain in France around the time of Naomi Campbell's birthday party? In his own cabana townhouse thing. It was part of a hotel, but I wouldn't call it a hotel. Jeff was staying there. Ghislaine was staying there. Emmy was staying there. I was staying there. This other guy was staying there. I don't know his name. I was instructed by Ghislaine to go in and give him an erotic massage. I don't believe that these people were investors. I really don't. Too many massages going on in all these places. She used the word erotic massage. No, that's my word. The word massage is what they would use. That's their code word. Was she in the room when you gave this erotic massage to the owner of a large hotel chain? No, she was not in the room. Why are they not using the large hotel chain person's name? Other than telling you to go give the owner of this large hotel chain a massage, do you remember any other words? Where were you and where was Miss Maxwell when she directed you to go have sex with Marvin Minsky? Where did you go to have sex with Marvin Minsky? Virgin Islands, she says. Other than Glenn Dubin, blank, Prince Andrew, Jean-Luc, Bill Richardson, another prince. Another prince? The large hotel chain owner, and Marvin Minsky. Is there anyone else that Maxwell directed you to go have sex with? I'm definitely sure there is, but can I remember everybody's name? No. Where are your notes? I burned them. Why did you burn them? When did you burn them? I burned them in a bonfire in Titusville because I was sick of going through this shit. This is crazy. Here's another redaction here. A lot of this is repetitive too, which is why I'm scrolling. So we have David Copperfield there doing magic tricks. What the hell? Yep, Jeffrey said Bill likes them young. I mean, the girl, this Virginia, is 20. So here's another redaction. As of the date of this filing, defense counsel has issued 12 subpoenas for deposition testimony. I mean, I really thought this was going to have a lot more in it. I mean, this is the puppet again. It's all repetitive. I mean, there's a shit ton of pages, but we're back on Andrew's puppet. Weird.
Roro causing Papa. I mean, that's
Roro. Who was Roro?
I'm still a little shook about David Copperfield. His magic to ease the situation. Right, Alicia. Alicia. I agree with you. It's weird that they went and recruited this chick right from the college campus and she like got right in the car. Like, I would hope my daughter would be smarter than that to be like, no, I'm not getting in the car with you and this weird lady that isn't talking. Okay, here's something gross. Ronaldo Rizzo, an estate manager for a friend of the defendant in Epstein's, testified about an episode where the defendant had threatened a terrified 15-year-old girl and confiscated her passport to try to make her have sex with Epstein on his private island. Mr. Rizzo testified about another episode where the defendant gave instructions to and presided over a group of 11 girls as young as 14 and played a kissing game with and for Jeffrey. Mm-mm. It's disgusting. Michael Jackson? You're kidding. We're getting close to the end of this group. We're back at the puppet again. I mean, I think at the bottom is going to be all the same shit.
You're awesome.
All right. I'm going to do a search. Michael Jackson's not in this group here. I think we finished the third group, guys. Let's see what the fourth one looks like. I can't stop. How many is there? I hope there's... there might be more. There's group 5. Is there 5 total or is there more? Let's see. It looks like 5 is it. Okay. See, a lot of this is the same. That's why I don't... Where are the hundreds of names we're supposed to be seeing? It's weird. Why would Michael Jackson be in here, though? I think, see, people, is Michael Jackson really in here? I don't think Michael Jackson's weird at all. Ah! Oh, this gets deep, guys, here, because former FBI Director Louis Freeh submitted a report where he concluded that Clinton did not, in fact, travel to, nor was he present on Little St. James Island between January 1st, 2001 and January 1st, 03. What? But it says here, the next big dinner party on the island had another significant guest appearance, being the one and only Bill Clinton. He is the only president in the world to be dismissed from his role as a world leader because he was caught with his trousers around his ankles and had the stain to prove it. Publicly humiliating his wife and himself, he retired from his title, but not from his lifestyle. There was Jeffrey at the head of the table, as always. On the left side was Emmy, Ghislaine, and I. Sitting across from the table from us was Bill, with two lovely girls who were visiting from New York. Bill's wife Hillary's absence from the night made it easy for his apparent provocative, cheeky side to come out, teasing the girls on either side of him with playful pokes and brassy comments. There was no modesty between any of them. We all finished our meals and scattered in our own different directions. Jerry, some of them are held because people filed in court and they got to stay for 30 days or whatever. They're trying to get their names out of it. I'm just not seeing hundreds of names. Yeah, Billy Joel's kind of gross, to be honest. I'm just not seeing these hundreds of names, guys. I heard they weren't even giving a list, but they're withholding. They're going to be coming out in pieces, right? They're going to be slowly rolled out. So really, nobody can have a full list because some of it's still redacted. So we have Glenn Dubin coming up a lot. Now they're talking about the damn Prince Andrew puppet again. In the picture with the puppet's hand on her boob. So they went to Sydney, Australia as well. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm just skimming. I really don't think there's going to be... All right, that's group 4. We may as well just get through them all. Here's 5. What do you mean he's freaking out? I know, I can't stand him either. It wouldn't surprise me if he was on there. Why would it surprise anybody that anybody is on here? I mean, these people don't get any sicker than this. And to know that our government hid it. David Rogers, pilot. Okay, this one is 262 pages. And what about Jeffrey telling this girl he wanted her to have his baby? What if he impregnated some of these people? So they want all documents relating to any communications from 98 to the president with any of these people. Jeffrey Ghislaine, any witness in the 26A, any witness, Sky Roberts, Lynn Roberts, Kimberly Roberts, Daniel LNU, half-brother of plaintiff, Carol Roberts Kess, Philip Gutteron, Anthony Villardez, Anthony Fagoria, and Ron Eppinger. Andrew Albert Christian Edward, the Duke of York, a.k.a. Prince Gross Andrew, Ron Eppinger, Bill Clinton, Stephen Hawking, Al Gore, or any of the individuals identified to you in interrogatory 18 and 14. This is their request for documentation. All documents relating to your employment or association in the Mar-a-Lago Club. Sounds like a lot of this happened in Palm Beach, to be honest. And yesterday, people were like, oh, no, this all happened in the Virgin Islands. Phone records that concern or relate to Ghislaine, Jeffrey, Alan Dershowitz, Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, or any of the individuals in interrogatory numbers 8 and 14. Advertising for masseuses, flyers for high schools and colleges. Okay. Is this Virginia's deposition? I'm just going to see if I see any names here. Okay, she's saying she met a foreign president, and she says, what is it? And they ask her, what's the name of that person? I can't remember his name at this time. I'm a very visual person. Can you describe him? Yes, he's Spanish, tall, dark hair. And he's got a foreign accent. And he was in his 40s. She met him in New Mexico. I have met very high, powerful people. I wasn't introduced to them as who they were. So I have to go back through photos. It's hard for me to distinguish who I actually met. Tom Prickster. Tom Prickster. Or whatever this says. Oops. What is that? So it's Pritzker. Who's Mr. Josephberg, Miss Zell, and Podhurst Orsek? Are those lawyers? I'm just failing to see a lot of names in this. I'm thinking that there's a lot of people trying to keep their names off, too. Still.
You're awesome.
God, we're going back to the 90s with this one. She met Ghislaine in 98. This is the girl who was 16 and spent her 16th birthday with Jeffrey. Yeah, I'm not seeing any other names here. Faith Fit Fun. I don't know what list you're talking about, honey. There's a lot of people that have been associated, yes, but nothing that I've seen that came out tonight has Madonna in it. So I don't know where that's coming from. It's confusing to me. There's gross details about Ghislaine having sex and within an orgy next to the pool, talking about Fingers. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Like, this is all questions about Ghislaine right now. So this girl ran away from home at 11 because Forrest Jones touched her in places he shouldn't be touching her. Wow.
You're awesome.
See, a lot of this is redacted here. Glenn Dubin and blank. I was asking about blank. So blank is another one. Prince Andrew. Alan Dershowitz. All these same names. We do have someone redacted here, though. Bill Richardson. Glenn Dubin. Prince Andrew. Owner of a large hotel chain. I can't help but think of Hilton. Were you ever on the helicopter with Bill Clinton's Secret Service and Ghislaine as the pilot? No. So you don't recall Ghislaine telling Prince Andrew in your presence that you were, quote, really only 16, right? She says no. So Tony Figueroa is this girl's ex-boyfriend, and he told her that she was being sexually trafficked. James Michael Ostrich. Look at that one. This is annoying. Oh, that's her husband's stuff that's redacted right here. This is all about her. They're starting to talk about politicians. Does that refresh your memory that when you got this email, unredacted, Bill Clinton was included as well as blank. In the line referred to as two of the world's most respected politicians. It's pouring down rain here in Florida, by the way. Why don't they name the hotel chain guy? I don't get that. They name everybody else. I'm just not seeing anything here. What's up, Faith Fit Fun? The Hyatt guy? This is all going to be repeats here. That's it, guys, for this dump. Wait, hold on. Wait. What's this? Individuals likely to have discoverable information relevant to disputed facts. Here's a list. Kathy Alexander, Miles Alexander, James Ostrich, Philip Barden, David Bohies, Laura Booth, Evelyn Boulay, Rebecca Boylan, Joshua Bunner, Carolyn Casey, Paul Cassell, Sharon Churcher, Alexandra Cousteau, Alan Dershowitz, Dr. Mona Devasian. We have Redaction, Bradley Edwards, Amanda Ellison, Kimberly Espinoza, Annie Farmer, Marie Farmer, Alexandria Fakai, Crystal Fagoria, Anthony Fagoria, Louis Free. Ha! Louis Free. Thanks, HM. Eric Ganny. Sheridan Gibson Boot. Robert Gouffre. Ross Gow. Fred Graff. Philip Gorderon. Shannon Harrison. Another redacted. Brittany Henderson. Victoria Hazel. Brett Jaffe. Carol Roberts Kess. Dr. Karen Kutoff. Peter Listerman. Tony Lyons. These are people that would have any information. Bob Meister. Jamie Mellinson. Lynn Miller. Marvin Minsky. Redacted. David Mullen. Joe Pagano. Mary Paluga. J. Stanley Pottinger. Joseph Rick Harry. Michael Reeder. Jason Richards. Bill Richardson. Sky Roberts. Scott Rothstein. Forrest Sawyer. Forrest Sawyer. Isn't he a reporter? Kim in Colorado. Breaking news. Arrest in Soto case. That's cool. They got the gangbanger. I didn't cover that case. Thank you, Global. Welcome, Mary P. Congratulations. Brent Tyndall, Kevin Thompson, Ed Tuttle, Emma Vaughn, Kimberly Vaughn Edwards, Chris Sandovaldes, Anthony Velardes, Vicky Ward, Martiza Vasquez, Jared Weisfield, Courtney Wild, Pendellis County Jail. Nice. Miss Wild may have knowledge concerning plaintiff's false claims against defendant. Daniel Wilson. Andrew Albert. Christian Edwards, the Duke of York. Witnessed identified by plaintiff. Witnesses whose identities and contact information can be identified in law enforcement reports. Da-da-da. That's it for your list of names, man. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Lists of names. Peter Fonda. I don't see none of these people. No one knows who no one knows who these fuckers are. Yeah, I don't know. Wasn't all that exciting, really. I mean, not that I wanted it to be like exciting, but let's go back to the very first one because I'm confused. Trump's not in this. Clinton's in it 4 times. The very first page. And Clinton never went to the island. It didn't look like either. Check Discord. What do you mean, check it? What does that mean? What am I checking? I guess there's a list. I guess we'll wait. I'm going to wait until all the documents come out. Because there's still people that are redacted. And I'm not going to just go off an article. I want to read it through myself. So. Whew. It is time to call it a night. We went through the flight logs. I mean, there's a lot of same names. Same. Nothing that's been released has had Trump in, things. But there is, let's see, how many are on this list? 90 people are on this list here. We read a lot of them already. Michael Jackson, they do have on here. Nothing really shocking, guys. Al Gore. We really read all of these. Dr. Mona. We went through all these. David Copperfield. Naomi Campbell. No, this is nothing. This is kind of stupid. They kind of built this up and made us think we were getting something really fucking meaningful. I'll put the link to this list in the description of this video. Donald Trump is on the list, by the way. He's number 78. Yeah, He's number 78. He's in here. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis. Mar-a-Lago Club, yeah. Hey, Bruce Willis now has dementia. But he's on this list. Bruce Willis. I couldn't stand Bruce Willis. Or his frickin' movies. I don't know, but Trump is on there. They're all on there, guys. All the people that we heard about the politicians are on there. Unfortunately. You can't get around it. They're all fucking creeps. I hate to break it to you, but they're not good people. John, we get it. Dude, skid victim, go back and watch my flight log live. But it's nothing to get mad about. Damn, chill. Who cares? Trump's not your friend. He's not your buddy. He wants you to think he's your buddy. He's not. He doesn't give a shit about you. He doesn't care if you're broke. Yeah, I can say that. He was in the previous video I did yesterday. So you're going to have to go replay it. But I did show it in here as well. No, I don't know the names. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to put the link to the Newsweek thing. Thank you, Kendo. I don't believe anything that any of these men say, okay? You guys put all your eggs in one basket with Trump, and it's a mistake, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. Think for yourself. Be leery of everybody. Thank you, Kendo. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right? I gots to go to bed. 3 hours and 18 minutes of Epstein. Thanks for watching, guys. We're going to roll our credits and thank all of our members for the donations for the new memberships, and welcome new members. Join our Discord if you are not already there. See you guys on the flip side. Thank you, Drea. I mean, I want to think that some people are good, but you have to connect your YouTube to your Discord. Yeah, too much massage talk. All their eggs in a basket. Alicia, take care, hon. Make sure that you connect your Discord to your YouTube. Good to see you again, Justin. I'm going to put the link to the thing right meow. Okay? Goodbye. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next one. Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists for more true crime content. And if that's not enough, you can join our Patreon. Don't have a tinfoil hat? It's okay. We'll make you one. It's that easy. See you guys in the next video.
See you later. Bye.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn.
What the fuck is that?
You wanna be with me.
Jennifer.
I didn't want to see you again for the rest of my whole life, and I didn't want to see anybody else either.